This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all. In last session, we worked with use state hook to maintain the state of the functional component, as well as we implemented the same concept in the class component by using state object. The same we implemented in the functional component by using a hook called use state hook. So we seen the hook, something called use state to maintain the state. It has to pass initial value. The initial value may be an array or anything. Remember carefully, it may be anything. So sometimes the initial state of the uh, component may be a zero or an array or something like this. You taken only something like this, right? Yesterday. So I have only single values I taken. If you want, you can take arrays also. If you want, you can take some other subjects also, right? Now you can check this. I'm going to take something const users comma get users. I'm writing a function and a variable equal to use state. In this use state, initially I don't have any users. That's why it is an empty array. The same concept we implemented in the functional component. I will show you in this example so that you will understand what is exactly we can implement it, right? So on load the component, once DOM has been rendered, we have to get the data, we have to display it. The same we implemented in the class component, now the same we have to implement in the functional component also. Now you can see. So now the other hook is going to be use effect hook. What is the hook name? Use effect. So what is this use effect? Simply says, right? What is the use state? To maintain the state of the component, we can use state hook. Okay, to define the state for the component, that is use state. The another predefined hook is going to be use effect. The name itself is saying that effect to run the, people will say like this, to run the side effects like Ajax calls, Ajax calls, adding events to an element, adding and removing events. So a lot of things Andy will come under use effect hook. How can we add an event to an element once page has been loaded in the class component? We have component did mount. How can we hide a component? How can we show a component? Component will unmount. When you are updating the state, we have to uh, sorry, when we are updating the state, one lifecycle method will be called every time. That is one time will be called, that is going to be component did update. I mean, what I want to tell you, use effect hook is equivalent. Use effect is available in the functional component. Now you can see, I'm writing a small thing, component did mount. Okay. And we have one more thing, component did update. Okay. I have one more hook, lifecycle method, component will unmount. Can you see what these three lifecycle methods will do in the class component? The same functionality will implemented by use effect hook. It is equivalent. Component did mount, component did update, component will unmount. What is the basic functionality of these three lifecycle methods in the class component? The same functionality will implemented by use effect hook in class component. Remember, we know that these three are available in class component lifecycle. This is class component. If you want to run the same effect, so now you have to use functional component. In the functional component, if you want to run the behavior of these three methods, so definitely we have to use the use effect hook. Functional component, use effect. Class component. So can you see all these three methods are doing one job, right? The job is implemented by use effect hook only. So we don't have lifecycle methods in the functional component. But what you can do in the functional class component, the same I can do in the functional component also. To maintain the state, we have state object in the class component. Set state is a method to update the state. In the functional component, we have use state hook that will return two values. One is a variable to hold the state. Second one is a function to update the state. In the same manner, I want to add an event to an element. I want to perform an Ajax call at particular point of time only, right? Use effect is the best place, guys, right? So now you can see what I am going to do here. Check this carefully. Here, let me go here, right? So let us create one component. Let me set this as a something like update title, something like this. Okay, sorry. Mm, Hook update title. Let me name the file like this, right? Because we already have update title. Maybe if you can see somewhere, yeah, here I have update title component. This is class component. Can you check this component one time? So when component, oh, this is nice example. I think if you can see this, you will understand. Let me go and explain you. Uh, Update title, right? Let us go there. I'm removing these components right now. I don't want to keep here. Now you can see. We have implemented already update title component in the early session. Now I'm going to refresh the page. Can you see what is the page title? You clicked 0 times. Okay, you clicked 0 times. Now I'm going to click on increment. Now you can see when you're clicking the increment, the page title is incrementing as well as this is also incrementing. You clicked 1 times. You can click this 5 times, 4 times. Now you can see this is also getting incremented. The same functionality now I want to implement into the class component. Before going to this, can we check this? What is this exactly? Let me remove all these things. Update title. Can you go to the update title? First, we have the state defined here. After that, can you see when this will be called? Once component has been completely rendered, this method will be called. When this function will be called, when there is an update in the component state, then this will be called. This is mounting phase method. This is updating phase method. So we are incrementing the state and we have something called buttons here. The same functionality now we have to implement into the hook update title. Okay, let me create a functional component RFCE. Now you can check this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take something called counter. Okay, you clicked, let us write like this directly. You clicked 0 times I'm writing. Actually, that should become dynamically. Okay, let me have a button also. Button tag open, button tag close. I'm going to make something called increment. On click the button, we have to increment the value, right? Now let's write something called increment counter. This is the function we have. So now what I want to do, inside the functional component, we are going to write something called increment counter function define. Definitely function before there should be identifier like const or something like this. Okay, but where is the state? You need state first of all to increment the value. Go to the top and import the state comma. You have to write use state. Okay, use state. Now you have to we know that use state hook will I'm passing initial state as a 0. We know that this will give you two values to us. Let us take them into an array. So this is the variable to hold the state and this is the method to update the state. Update state, update counter. Let us write the function like this, update counter. It is the method and this is the variable. Let us go here. Here 0 times place. I'm going to write counter, COUNTR counter. Now you can check this. Is it imported? No, it is not imported, right? Let us go to the app, hook update title, hook update title component is imported. So these unnecessary, you can remove this if you want. I'm removing all this stuff, right? Now can we go and check this? What is the output here? Hook update title is imported. No, it is not imported. 1 minute. Hook update title, is it imported? Yeah, imported. Perfect. Now you can go and refresh the page. Now you are getting, you clicked 0 times. Can you see my tab title here? My tab title, is it there anything here? React app. That is a tab title I have. What is the title you have? The title should be there. You are in the functional component. If it is in a class component, this is the way. So by writing this document or title, it will be updated. But it is the case. If you want to add title of the window, definitely we have to use another hook called user state. Now you can see that is also hook, this is also hook. Again, you have to import the second hook, is going to be called use effect, sorry, use effect. Use effect is the hook. Use effect is the hook. This use effect is also a function. It will be called when component is loaded. It will be called when component is updated also. It will be called when component is hidden or removed from the DOM. So this method having multi-purpose, right? Let me write one small thing here. Use effect. This hook will call automatically. This hook will call curly when component inserted into the DOM. Inserted into the DOM. This hook will call automatically when component inserted into the DOM. In the same manner, when component updates the state, when component update the state, update the state. If there is an update in the state, this will call automatically. When component removed from the DOM also. When if you can remove from the DOM, removed from the DOM. So if you can remove, it will be called automatically. If there is a change in the state, it will be called automatically. Once you inserted, I mean, once DOM has been rendered completely, use effect will be called. Okay, let me write this use effect hook. Use effect. I'm writing this use effect. Can you see? Oh my God. I hit enter, automatically some syntax is getting generated. What is the syntax? Oh, it is a little bit confusing us, right? Let me write the syntax properly in the scenario here. Let us go there. I'm going to remove the syntax completely. Now, let me write the detailed way here. The use effect will be use effect, right? It's a hook. To this hook, there is a callback function like this. There is a callback function like this. This is the first parameter. It has two parameters actually. Remember carefully, it has two parameters. Okay, use effect. So this is the callback function as a first parameter. The second parameter is a dependency array. What is this dependency array? We will talk about, right? So don't worry about it, right? So this is the callback function. I mean, when we are calling the use effect hook, what you want to execute. And I told you, right? Use effect hook will call automatically in the above three situations, right? Let me do one thing so that you will understand. So this is the logic we have right here inside of it. Now you can check this. Here, some logic we will write. Some logic. The logic may be adding events, removing events, Ajax calls, and we can write. And here we have something called return. There is something called return statement also, Andy. What is this return statement? We will talk about later. Okay, but all the things are not required to learn at a time. So those will be discussed later. Right. First of all, let us talk about 111. Right. This is going to be the return. Some cleanup logic. What is, oh, in the syntax also they given, right? In the, that is cleanup logic. What is the meaning of cleanup logic here? That we need to check it. This is some logic I written as a effect, but they written as a some logic. So if you can expand the syntax, it is going to be the written. Okay, let us write as it is, cleanup logic. What is this cleanup logic? We don't want to use all at a time. We don't want to use all at a time. So I don't want to write the cleanup logic right now. But when to go for cleanup logic, that's very, very important. We should understand. For example, you are hiding a component, you are showing a component. In the class component, when we are working with hiding and showing component, you got an error. Well, I think I did in the two situations, I believe. One is a clock counter we implemented. I'm showing the clock, I'm hiding the clock. When you're showing and hiding the clock, I got an error in the console. Some state error, some error we got actually. No, this should be implemented by component will unmount. Some error you seen, right? I mean, what is the problem with the clock component? In the clock component, we implemented what is that is exactly the timer running, and there in that method in the clock component we implemented component will unmount also. What unmount will do? Will unmount will do? It will remove the component. I mean, actually, once the component is displayed, the states we have to update. The timer state should get updated. When it is hiding, then also the timer is getting updated. If it is hiding, we don't want to update it, right? So if it is showing, we have to update the state. If it is hiding, we don't want. That's the problem. We solve it there. So the same logic you are going to write into the this written cleanup. Here we have to write that kind of logic. You want to hide, you want to show, right? Sometimes that logic will be implemented by using written. So here we can write Ajax calls, and this is the dependency array. Right now it is an empty. So when to go for dependency array also we have to check it. Okay, right. So this is the thing. Written cleanup is optional right now. Even if you want, you can take it. Otherwise, you can leave it. No worries about it. But some logic we will write. Okay, right. Check this carefully. The syntax. I hit enter. The syntax got generated automatically. Let me write the use effect. Okay. If I hit enter, syntax is getting generated, right? Let us remove all the stuff here. Dependency array you have to keep, guys, here. That is empty right now. I'm not going to write anything. So this is the thing. If you have any confusion, let me write it one more time here. So I'm going to write use effect, effect, use effect. To this there is a callback function, right? Two parameters actually. One is a dependency array, one is a callback function. That's all. You can come here and you can execute the same logic. Okay, so what we have to pass into the dependency array, that I will talk about later. Right now you can see I'm not writing anything. Console.log, right? I'm writing use effect. I just want to give an idea. In the written statement, can we give console? Okay, here we cannot write console.log, right? What I want to do, use effect will call automatically. I want to show you. Okay, let me write here console.log also. Console.log. This is FC functional component I written. Okay, first which one will be called? Functional component or use effect? I told you, use effect will be called once this has been rendered. So first FC will be called, finally use effect will be called. So I'm going to check this hook update here is added, right? So you can go and check this. I'm pressing F12. 1 minute. If you can press F12 in the console, you can check this. What is the output of the program? Well, let's go and check this. Here I'm checking in the console. Can you see which one is called? First, the functional component is called. After calling the functional component, then only use effect is calling. Use effect is calling first? No, use effect will never call first. Can you see now? I want to do one more small scenario here. Now I'm incrementing the counter. Okay, you can increment the counter. Now you can see how can we increment the counter? To update the counter, we have the following function. This is going to be the update counter. In this, we can write counter plus 1. It will be updated now. On click the button. Now you can check this. Now initially functional component call and use effect is calling. Okay, I'm cleaning. When you are clicking this, value is incrementing in the console. Which one is calling? Use effect is not calling. Why use effect is not calling? Only this is getting called only. Use effect is not calling. It is calling very first time. I'm updating the state kada. When you are updating the state, the dependency you have to tell us. So if this state changes, and this also should call, otherwise how it knows, right? So what we have to do, in the dependency array, you have the counter variable na. You can take the counter variable, you can pass the counter variable to this dependency array. What is the meaning of it? If the counter get changed, use effect should be called. That is the meaning of it. Earlier I am having empty state. Now you can check this. So first time it is called, first time that is getting called. Now I'm incrementing. Second time is calling? No, second time is calling functional component. Every time that is getting called, that is not calling at all, right? So now what I want to do, as the dependency, I'm passing counter. Meaning of it, if a counter gets changed, This use effect should be called, but use effect when it is calling, when page has been loaded, it is calling one time. But I'm telling you, it has to call when there is a update in the state, right? I'm updating the state. So if it is a class component, what you will do? Component did update hook you will write. So now in this is the way. Use effect is the hook for did mount, did update, will unmount. So we have to tell us if you are not passing anything, it will work like a component did mount. It will work like a component did mount. Now if you can pass here, it will work like a component did mount and component did update also. Now you can see. So now it is calling initially. Now I'm clicking the second time. Can you see? This time is calling use effect now. This time is calling use effect. I mean, what I want to tell you. So check this carefully. Here you should understand the use effect hook. Sorry. Here, this is the thing. If dependency is not there, then this is equivalent to component did mount only. So this is equivalent to component did mount. Understand? I'm adding the dependency. If we can add the dependency, then that is going to be will component did update only. So this is going to be the same example. Check this carefully. That is equivalent logic. This is the I added counter now. If you can check this, can you see this is equivalent to component did update plus component did mount. Both did mount is common. Okay, so now if this is not there, only did mount. If this is there, did update and did mount. I'm just telling you, if the state get changed, the use effect hook should call again and again. If state get changed, that should be called again and again, right? So in this point of time we written like this. Now you can do one thing. In this use effect hook, we know that it will be called. Now I'm not passing counter here. Let us remove the counter. I will come there. Right, now you can check this. In the use effect hook, I am writing document.title and document.title is equal to, I am writing something like this. You clicked, I'm writing you clicked dollar counter times. I am writing like this, counter times, exactly, right? Now you can see on load the page, use effect hook will call anyhow, right? We don't have any problem here. Now you can check this. I am refreshing the page. If you can refresh, can you see Andy? You click it 10 times. Now I'm loading the page. Now it's 0 times. You click it 0 times. My tab title is also 0 time. Document title is also 0 times. Okay, right, now check this carefully. If you are incrementing, okay, let us go here. If you are incrementing, now it is 0 times. Now I'm incrementing. It is incrementing here, but is it incrementing on the tab title? No, that is 0 times only. In this point of time, we have to pass that dependency array. So the hook use effect hook should call automatically when there is a change in the state. Now I'm going to take something called counter. Just refresh the page. If you can refresh the page, now you can check this, right? You clicked 0 time, 1 time, 3 time. Can you see my tab title is also incremented? You clicked 5 times, you clicked 5 times. The same functionality you implemented with the two methods there. Can you see? You can check this. If it is a class component, you written two functions. So this will be called on load the page. This will be called when there is a change in the state. This will be called every time. But here, can you see? For the both the functions, we are writing one function only, and this is implemented just by passing a dependency array, and it is getting called. It is getting called exactly, right? Okay, this is fine. How we can implement the use effect hook? It's an equivalent of the same. Okay, for example, let me take one other thing. Const. Now we can take this as a username. Same story. Get username or set username, update username, whatever it may be. You can take update user name equal to use state. Initially I'm setting the value called raw. Okay, I'm setting the value called raw. See the problem here, guys. I'm showing a small problem here to you. Try to understand. This is update name. Let us have the function also, update name. Okay, I'm going to add the function update name. If we can refresh, you can check this. There is two buttons are there. Update name. Oh, update name function should be defined, kada? Right. You can go and define the function. Go to your thing, and you can define the function. So now I'm going const update name. Yeah, function is defined. That's why your if the function is not defined, we can see the output, na. So now you can check this. I am refreshing the page. If you can refresh, okay, update name is there. You want to display the name also, you can go and display the name here. And sorry, yeah, I'm going to display the name somewhere. Now you can take one more h1 tag if you want, or else you can do one thing here. HR tag I'm going to take. H1 tag open, H1 tag close again. Welcome to username. Right, we have the variable like this. Okay, now you can check this. We can see the output like this now. Welcome to username. On click this update name, I want to change the name only. Okay, but be careful, check this careful. Now for updating name, we have already a hook function is there, update username. In this, I'm going to set the name as Teja. I'm refreshing. Now you can see if I click, you clicked 0 times, 1 time, okay, that is all working perfectly. 0 times, 10 times, sorry, this is 10 times, and if you can hover this mouse also here, 10 times. Now observe this carefully. On click this update name, I am firing a function. In that function, I am updating the name. Earlier is ROM initially, that I'm updating as a Teja. Now you can check this. If you can click this, is it updated? Updated. We don't have any problem here, guys. Exactly. Check this carefully. What is going to be happen here? So, but this is directly updating the state. This is earlier we seen the example, but this is you can see the problem here. When I'm updating the state, the title is not updated. That's the reason we are passing the dependency array here. Exactly. Okay. Right. So this is okay, Andy. Right. Fine. How we can implement the use effect hook like this, right? Okay, now the next thing. How can we get the data from an endpoint URL? By using use effect. Okay, so let us go here. I just want to write one more hook users. Okay, I'm writing one component, hook users.js. First, let me do one thing. Uh, you can get some users statically, then we can go for dynamic users. How we can iterate the data, we should know, right? Right, let us take RFC. Right, here you can take some users list, guys. Here const users list equal to take an array of objects. Okay, in this I'm going to define an object, first name, last name. Yeah, so we can take some values also. Okay, I have three values are there here in the users list. How can we iterate the data? Definitely, if there is any change, initially we should have some. Okay, let me do one thing. Initially, we don't have any data. Okay, let us do one thing. Initially, we don't have any data. All of you try to see. This is an empty users list, Andy. Okay, let me do one thing. This is an empty users list. Right now, you don't have any data. Okay, right. Let me take this like this so that you will get the things very clear here. Right, users list is empty. it's better to take a user state. All right, so I'm taking this user state. All right, let us go there. Const destructure an array equal to user state. Do we have any users right now? Empty. I don't have anything right now. Can you see? This is going to be users list, comma, get users from API. Get users is a method. So now you can check this. I want to display the users now. Generally, if you have users in this list, we can display this only. Right now, what I'm doing in this JSX, I'm going to write one condition. Users list dot length greater than 0. At least you have one record is there. We have to display the data now. Otherwise, how can we display the data? It is not possible, right? So otherwise, it is going to be an empty. Understand, guys? Here, this is what exactly we have. If you have records, I want to display them into a table format and okay. If you don't have records, I just want to go like this, null. Simply, if it is a class component, we will write this dot state dot users list is an empty array na. This empty array will be saved into the following variable. If you are passing 0, then 0 will be saved into the user list. Now user list is an array. Keep it in mind, users list is an array. Why? Because what is the value you are assigning to the user list variable? Square bracket. Because of the square bracket, that is going to be an array. That's why I'm writing users list dot length greater than 0. Right now I have to take a table, right? T head open, T head close. In this we have to take tr, th. City. T body, again tr open, but this time this tr should be dynamically iterated, right? So take the JSX. You have to take something called users list dot mapper. Same story you already implemented in the functional class component. This is going to be an item comma index key equal to index. In this td item dot, sorry, index plus 1 initially. Index plus 1 means id. We don't have id, but we will write something like this. This is going to be item dot first name, we taken, yeah, item dot first name, item dot last name, item dot city, item dot last name, item dot city. Right now, will you get anything in the screen? Definitely you can get anything. Why? Because we don't have any data there, right? Now you can see I'm writing welcome to users, something I written. Now you can go and import this hook users here. Now I'm going to import here hook users. Okay, it is imported. If you can refresh, are you getting anything? Nothing. Let me do one thing. This is an empty now. Hook users is empty, right? In this, let me keep the data. Just now I have removed, right? I removed. Oh my god, the data is removed. Again I have to type. Mhm. My god. Users. Oh god. Okay, let me type it. So what shall we do? We removed, right? One object, second object. Actually, these data should be come from server dynamically, but we will make it. Okay, just two records I'm taking right now. Now can we go and refresh the page? You have data, you are able to see the data now, right? Very nice. If you can remove this, will you able to see anything here? Nothing now. There is nothing because there is no data and nothing. So what I want to do, let me take use effect also. But this table I don't want to display right now. I'm going to take one button. This is going to be button tag open, button tag close, get users. Try to see guys, get users. On click the button, on click the button, I want to get the users. Okay, try to see. On click the button, I want to get the users. Get users list is my function. Get users list is the function. So now what you have to do, you have to define the function, right? Const get users list. Now can we see what I will do? We have the function, right? Get users. We will update the state like this. Get users. You can take this, the square bracket, that's all. Now what happened? Now you can see initially it is empty. We don't have anything. On click the button, this function will be called. In this function, we're updating the state with initially array is empty now. Initially array is empty. On click the button, we are updating the state with some users only. Static data only, but later we have to get it dynamically, right? Now you can go and refresh the page. You are not able to see anything. On click the button, the state data is getting updated. The same functionality we have to implement by using Axios. Earlier we implemented by using a class component. The same, let us implement how that is going to be works for us in a functional component. So now we are doing in the class component. I'm not using use effect hook. If you want to use use effect hook, onload the page. Okay, not on click the button. Onload the page, you want to do something. Yes, we can do that too also. Let us do one thing. Here, I'm going to take use effect also. Let us take this as a use effect. EFFECT use effect. So in a use effect, when it will be called, initially it will be gets called automatically. Right now, I'm not taking anything into the here, or else you can take something, no problem. Okay, right? This will be called when you're clicking the button, but use effect will call use effect. E use EFFECT use effect hook will call automatically. Let me remove this dependency arrow. I'm removing. So now you are going to update the state, right? So this is going to be get users, get users. In this, just you are passing the object. Can you see? This is passed to it now, right? Now you can check this carefully. This is updating the state once component has been rendered. Okay, not on click the button. Now you can see if you can remove this, get users list is calling error something error. Oh, this function should be defined kada. Let me define the function. Const get users list, and you can take something like this. Okay, I'm not writing anything. Now you can check this. You are getting data. But when you're clicking the button, will you get anything? No. This is getting updated on load the page. Even you can set the data here by using use effect hook also. We can set the data on load the page. You have empty data, right? We don't have anything. What use effect will do, use effect will call once on load the page. It will went to Axios server. Nothing but we will send a request to server by using Axios. You will get the data. Whatever the data we are getting, we are updating into the state. Once after that, we are rendering the thing here on the screen. For example, here you have something. I'm updating get users. I'm updating get users. In this get users function, you want to pass again an object. Now you can see I'm passing one more object. This time, this is going to be some different. Okay, let me pass this object there directly. So it is updating the state getting updated. First name Ram123 and B123 and city Hyderabad 123. Can you see if you can update the state, what is going to happen? The existing value is gone and new value is placed. So can you see the what happened here exactly? I'm refreshing on load the page, you will get the first records. What happened when the page load? This is calling, this is updating the state with the two records. When we are clicking the update button, I mean after loading the thing, now you can see this is going to be coming there, right? So now what I want to do, you may have a question, sir, I want to keep the existing value and I want to keep the new value also, right? Then how can we do this exactly? So it is all about array operations guys here. So we have to take that array, right? To that array we have to push this. Let us do one thing. What I'm going to do, without doing this, we can do one small thing. Let us remove this object. Okay, And I am going to do, you can take this as, what is a users list? Users list dot push is a method now. To this method we will push the object. Now you can check this, maybe existing value should be there and new value also should be there. Everything gone. What happened? Why everything went gone? So after that I want to know what is the users list, console.log of users list. Why I am not getting anything? This is going to be users list. I'm printing this. If you can refresh the page, initially it is empty, and on click the button, are you getting anything? I'm not getting anything. Why? You are not going there. The only thing, this users list, you have to pass into the dependency array. So if that is updated, it should be recall again, right? That's why it is not calling the same earlier we implemented, right? Now you can check this. Now you can see this is calling many times. Why this is calling many times? It is getting updated continuously. Yes, it is getting updated continuously, but need to check it. What is the solution for it? It may went for infinite loop. Let us remove this. What is the problem? Here I have users list update pushing. I'm doing okay. Get users. I'm not getting anything. Why so? I think I cannot pause this here directly. What you have to do, right? This is you need to write. After that, you have to pass only users list only. I'm thinking. Okay. So once it is pushed, the original array, I'm going to add into it. Let me check this time. Okay, I'm going to click on it. So it is not updated, but I'm not getting the data also. Let me check this one more time. I'm printing user list. I want to see whether the data is there in the array. I'm clicking this. Oh, I'm getting the data. Can you see? It is pushed, and then I think you can add the dependency. Maybe earlier we did the wrong way of doing. Maybe that's the reason I think it went out. Let me check this time. Now you can click on it. Maximum depth exceeded. Oh, if I pass like this, that is giving the error like this. But it is pushing the value. Okay, let me check this. Why it is calling repeatedly? The state getting updated calling repeatedly. So we need to check this. Can you see maximum update depth exceeded? This can be happen when a component calls set state inside use effect. Set state inside use effect. Set state inside use effect. Okay, I will check. Let me know. Right. I'm trying to update the state, but this is not working. No, the same problem. I will check. I will check and I will update you rather say. But this task we will implement by using Ajax tomorrow. Okay, whatever the task I'm trying to implement here, the same we will work with Ajax. And if you have any problem, we will find the solution there. Because of the dependency array, I'm having a problem. State is getting updated. State is updating, but we need to check it. Okay, let me check this same in tomorrow session with Axios by using Ajax call. We have endpoint URLs, right? To the endpoint URLs, we have to send a request and we have to get the data, and we have to display it on click the button that we can see tomorrow.